During COVID, we noticed that also the schools were shutting down. And the kids in Dallas, where I serve a church there, Lovers Lane United Methodist Church, they weren't getting fed at school, as was their custom. And so our church started a fresh produce giveaway program to deal with food insecurity for the families in our immediate area. It grew and grew and grew. And then as COVID receded and inflation took over, it continued to grow to the point that we were feeding 3,000 people a week. And I wondered, what about in East Texas where the issues are the same, but the resources are just not as plentiful? So, what could we as Colinas Way do to address the food insecurity issues with so many of the East Texans in the area of eastern Henderson County and southeastern Van Zant County, and the Lake Palestine area, which is the wider part of the eastern Henderson County area?
The work of Colinas Way, more behind the scenes, and the storefront and center presence of their partner, Stillwater Farm Market Store, has caught on in East Texas. Individuals and congregations have also heard the call to create and install food pantries in their own communities and neighborhoods. This is becoming a movement in the best sense of the word.
The Little Free Food Pantry on the lake started providing fresh produce for the people that use our food pantry after Stan Copeland called us and let us know of a project that he was bringing to the area to help provide other food pantries with fresh produce. Fresh produce is something that's not available. We are in what is called a food desert. We do have a dollar store, and you can go, if you can afford it, get something canned, but you cannot get fresh produce. It is a big treat for people to have fresh produce. We have found people that are so excited over carrots, over onions. Things that we take for granted very often are such an incredible blessing. Fresh fruit. As a mother, I'm so happy to know people are eating fruits and vegetables, and they have no way to get fruits and vegetables if it was not for the project that Stan Copeland brought to us. We have a member that goes into Chandler and picks up the produce. They bring it to the church, and the ladies at the church and some of the gentlemen take fresh food out twice a day and make it available for whoever comes, and it is always gone within a couple of hours.
When we first started the pantry, we would see people out at the pantry, and there was a young woman and a man and two very small children, and they got what they needed. They said they were just having hard times, and this has been a lifesaver for them. And we said, well, we're happy that we can bless you with it. Take what you need and we'll just keep it stocked. And he said, okay. It's probably 6 months later, maybe. The woman came up with his two small children, and she says, we're showing the children how to pay it forward, because when my husband and I were here earlier, needed things, we've been telling the children the church helped us. So we have a little extra food, so we're going to put it in your pantry.
The partnership between Stillwater Farm Market Store and these local food pantries serve as a model for organizations and congregations aspiring to tackle food insecurity in their local areas, communities, and towns.
In the time period that we've been open here since 2010, there's been a lot of changes in the Rock Hill Food Pantry. But one of those changes has been identifying a dedicated space that is set up, including cold goods, freezer goods, and canned goods, as well as our dry goods. And so we have had the opportunity throughout the years to be able to share that, set up with other pantries wanting to know, how do you provide that self-select? What are the square footage requirements? How can they meet those needs as far as accessibility for those who can't come in but need a drive-through door? And so we have all those things available here, and we try to be able to share that. In fact, during COVID, we had the opportunity to really support new food pantries opening and to provide that training for them as far as how to fill out their documentation, what is the appropriate serving size, and how to be able to provide the needs in their community as well. And almost, if you will, to kind of mentor them through a season for them to be able to stand on their own feet.
The need to provide farm fresh produce for families, single moms, senior citizens, veterans, people of all walks of life, cultures, and hues has also come to focus on students in the Brownsboro Independent School District. A program that gives food to students who are on the student lunch plan for the weekend was started and is called Bare Necessities Ministry. There was one thing missing in the weekend take-home food bags: fresh oranges, apples, and pears. Kalinas Way was called and the challenge presented. Funding followed the appeal for donations.
This is important for them to be able to eat at home because the studies have shown that children who are food insufficient do not do as well at school, because when they're trying to sit there and study and learn and their stomachs are growling because they're hungry on Monday, they're not going to be listening to what the teacher has to say. They're going to be either acting out or trying to get somebody's attention or trying to steal food. So this is our best way of trying to help those families and help those students to be able to better their education and better their life moving forward.
Making food and fresh produce available and accessible to East Texans who are in need of fresh produce that is expensive in the grocery stores and in some places not easily accessible is a challenge on numerous levels. Many who serve in the food pantries and with the food club find a scriptural foundation for the work they are doing.
And Jesus declared that I am the bread of life, and those who believe in me will never go hungry. And those who believe in me will never go thirsty.
When people give to this ministry, to the food club, it is feeding real people, it is feeding real children, it is providing old women, widows, sick people with produce that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Community leaders in Chandler, Texas, one community served by the Picklin Parson Food Club, are also aware of the pressing need to tackle food insecurity. These leaders place their support and confidence in how Kalinas Way, the food pantries, churches, businesses, stores, and local government partner for the betterment of all citizens.
I had one lady that has come through our food bank at our church to say to me, this is the first time in years I have been able to select some fruit or vegetables that I know my children will eat. And of course, you know, a lot of our kids are picky eaters. So these families have been depending on what we have given them through the food bank, and now we have given them the dignity of choice to make what they want to put on their table for their children and the rest of their families to feed them.
Chandler is truly the city with a heart. We have donations, and we're supported solely by donations from individuals and churches and businesses. And so they have been very generous with us.
I feel this pantry program is a perfect example of community working together, churches, the people in the community. But I think that one of the most beneficial parts is as we continue to grow, it's going to help us to be a model that can be used across the country and across, well, in this area specifically, but across the country as well.
In order to continue this necessary and caring mission, your support, your donations, your prayers, and your loving care are truly required so East Texans can have confidence that affordable food will be available for their kitchen tables today and tomorrow.
We've heard some very inspiring testimonies from those who have shared stories about the persons who've come to the pantries or to the food club, and those have been very moving. I do want to say that our hope is that we'll be able to fund the Bare Necessities program with the fruit that we'll put in those bags for the entire school year next year. And that's going to cost us about $13,000 to do our part. And our hope is that we can continue with strength to provide food for the 250 families that are now part of the Picklin Parson Food Club. And we expect that that number will only grow to perhaps over 300 by the end of the summer. We think that it's going to cost about $100,000 to continue this food distribution through the rest of this year. I want to say thank you for watching this video and for praying with us about the ministry that we have. I also want to say, if you want to talk further about a gift that you'd like to make, you can go on our website and find out information, and you can always call me, and my contact number is on that website. Thank you again for being a part of this video and for being with us in this food ministry.
To support Kalinas Way and partner with us to tackle food insecurity, you can make checks out to Kalinas Way and Memo Food Club. Mail to the address on your screen or go to our website, picklinparson.com, to make an easy credit card donation. Every gift you contribute is a tax-free donation. Call 214-802-5725 or 214-549-7830 with any questions or opinions to share.